姐姐，恭喜小 hero！ 谁还记得？
姐姐，恭喜这次4比3，飞龙在天！
哎，算了，恭喜他夺冠吧。
一把，我靠！
打不过啊，他最后这手感染虫太凶了。最近半年 ，ZvP 56-3给自己点一个赞，冠军。
I don't think Serral has any chance to save this one, but he continues. He gets killed coming back, and Bunny just doesn't seem to have the numbers.
完了，
谁都这。
Didn't even notice the Liberator in the main base, I think. So many probes are going down right now.
Oh my god, they're trying to get back, but they can't, and so many are picked up. A big clump here from Curie. Tries to split everything up.
Giant force of Failings rolling in and clearing the hell. That's massive. Clum!
Mario is once again has done it.
Serral did it all, and he is a well-deserving champion.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, the final day of Max Coliseum 8, the playoffs, day number 7. We just wrapped up with our catch-up stream of going over day 6 of going over Hero versus MaxPax and Serral versus Rainer, and now we have 3 players left. We have 3 players left in the tournament. We have Hero waging in the grand finals, and we have MaxPax and Serral duking it out here in the lower bracket finals to determine who will face off against Hero in that best of 9. Here we go, 3 players left, and tonight we crown our champion. Papi. Here we go. Whew. And again, it's been quite an event, quite a tournament already here. It's been lasting over a month with the qualifiers, with the group stage, with the playoffs as well. It has been an intense event here, and now we have 1 Zerg and 2 Protoss players remaining. We have MaxPax versus Serral coming up first. Let's go. Let us go. Historically, Serral has had the better of MaxPax, as you can see here with their historical record, but in recent times, in recent weeks, in recent months, MaxPax has been taking down Serral time and time again. Hero likewise has also been taking down Serral as well. Serral has been struggling in certain aspects of the ZvP matchup, but we'll see if he can get his revenge here and now in this best of 7. Vetoes are done. We have our vetoes here. MaxPax vetoing Frostline, makes sense. Serral vetoing Neon Violet Square, makes sense as well. Frostline is a much more open, a much more exposed map. It is difficult to turtle, difficult to defend on 3, 4, 5 bases. So MaxPax gets rid of the map where he would struggle to get into a late game. Serral, he vetoes Neon Violet Square, the largest map of the map pool, known for greed, known for late game, known for 30, 40, 50-minute, hour-long games as well. Serral gets rid of that. MaxPax gets rid of Frostline. They get rid of both 2 extremes. They get rid of the extremes, and now we have everything else in between. Game 1 gonna go the way of King's Cove. Oh boy, we have the larger maps to kick things off. Let's go. King's Cove is game 1. Abyssal Reef, Whispers of Gold, El Dorado, Amygdala, Ley Lines, and Ultra Love as the final game of the series. Let's go. Okay, so we start things off here with one of the larger maps in the map pool, but has an exposed and vulnerable 4th base. That is going to be a big factor coming into this. For now, though, our players are getting ready here. We have both Serral looking locked in form. Likewise, MaxPax also with a serious stoic face, as typically is the case with MaxPax, as we get ready here for our next series. Personally, as today is the final day, I was hoping there were going to be some interviews. I was hoping for some pre-game interviews and some thoughts from our players. If you recall, we did have interviews for the playoff brackets, the playoffs, but alas, looks like no interviews here. A little bit of a feels bad, man. At least for the finals, it would be nice to hear from the players if we can get, when we get there, when we get to the finals, would be great to hear from them, but up to the production team, up to the production. Aye. Here we go. See, chat, still no MaxPax webcam? What do you mean? He's right there. What are you talking about? Aye. The posture. So good. No slouching in the chat. Just catching up. Share my papi, share my. Have our first game ready for us. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have MaxPax for Storm Gaming. And in the top left, we have Serral for Basilisk. Here we go. Now, when it comes to the previous series that they did have in the upper brackets of the playoffs, did go all the way to the ace match. Bear that in mind, did go all the way to the ace match. Once again, I will reiterate that the games that Serral did struggle on were typically games that led into a longer, later game state. It was the games that Serral would win where he would be able to end the game earlier on by going for these all-ins, by going for more committed styles and more aggressive builds. That is typically the dynamic that we have noticed here between Serral and MaxPax. If Serral can end the game early, or if he can, if he can, he will end the game early. If not, things can go a little bit south for Serral. For now, though, we are settling in. For now, we do have our initial openers going to be a Gate Expand into Cybercore out of MaxPax, likewise a Hatch Gas Pool out of Serral as well. The openers are standard, and before I get ahead of myself, before I forget, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is Gamba time. Predictions are open, place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Get your Gamba going while you can. Stone face, not even a smile, not even, Pappy, not even. Emotionless, stoic. Aye. Here we go. And again, we even saw Serral showing emotions in the previous time they faced off. We saw Serral looking very distraught, very frustrated on cams. Definitely a lot less composed than we're used to seeing Serral in that best of 5 against MaxPax. But again, I'm sure this time, it's been a couple of days. It's been a couple of days since that series. He's had time to compose himself. He's had time to go over the matches, to ruminate on the series, and to come up with a better plan and a better idea on how to approach MaxPax on some of these maps. Now, I do emphasize the maps because, again, I do think that the maps do play a big role and a big part into what is preferred when it comes to the playstyle, what is favored and what is not. We spoke about this in the previous series when it came to Raynor and his choice of playing Protoss on specific maps. There are maps where it is easier to defend, where it's easier to turtle, which does favor a player that wants to go into the late game. This is not one of those maps, though. Welcome to King's Cove. It's kind of in the middle here. King's Cove is a very large map. That is true, is a large map, but the 4th and 5th base are more wide open, they're more exposed. If Serral were to go for something like a 3-base all-in, I can see that being very viable here. Very viable on King's Cove. We actually casted Raynor versus MaxPax a month ago on this map, where if you remember, Raynor, he was just punishing MaxPax, killing the 4th base time and time again, but Raynor, he was actually stuck on Lair Tech, or really stuck on Ling Bane Hydra, never really teched into Hive Tech properly, and after a couple of minutes, eventually MaxPax did defend, did slowly claw his way back into it, and then overwhelmed Raynor. Did happen back in December, for those that remember. For those that do recall. So despite gaining momentum, despite killing the 4th base, I think Raynor killed it like 3 or 4 times. It was crazy just how often he had done it. You do want to ideally think further ahead and, focus on teching and not get bogged down on the here and now, and think on that next step. If we find ourselves in that situation again. But now, the Oracle does move out. Does hit the 3rd. Serral just saturating his bases, keeping up with the Oracles. Again, going to be a double, soon to be triple Oracle opener into a 3rd base. Standard play here by MaxPax. We don't really expect any kind of crazy deviation. There's a fast Evo chamber by Serral. Looks like Serral, he's going into plus on melee into Ling Hydra. Serral most likely is looking to delay and skip Roach production, which is the ideal. Typically in ZvP, if you can, you want to get away with skipping roaches to be able to embrace Hydras faster, to be able to embrace the Hive and the Lurker tech faster as well. As we do settle in. So far, so good. Looks like the clean feed is a little bit dirty. Thankfully, it's back, and hopefully it doesn't leave us anytime soon. Stay with us, Pappy. Stay with us. Oh no! Stasis goes off. Serral, he doesn't quite pull away in time. Bit of a shake there of the head for Serral, as he does get 4 drones caught out. Same time, 2 drones going to be going down here at the 3rd. Nice big ups here by MaxPax. Very nice. Kills 2 workers, stasis traps 4 drones. Again, small mistakes here from Serral, but it is slowly adding up. He has to be careful. There's going to be 3 drones going down in total. Good damage here from MaxPax. Behind this, going into the Forge, into Twilight Council, into +1 and Blink. Gateway Explosions have been thrown down, and MaxPax, he's taking up into that third base saturation. Meanwhile, there's going to be a 5-minute lair here from Serral. Again, this is a later lair than we have seen previously, at least again in his series against Raynor, but this is all for a slightly later Hydra production. Also, Serral is playing safe. That is a Roach Warren. Roach Warren's on the way. I don't expect Serral to actually make any Roaches, but he's throwing it down just in case it is going to be glaive at follow-up, just in case he needs some Roaches to deal with MaxPax. For the time being, though, he is going to be settling in. The dirty face, a little bit dirty, yeah. So Wi-Fi in Asia, so weird when connection does. Oh no. Oh no, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. For those that are curious, the production team for WTL or for Coliseum, they're based in China, and to actually provide us the clean feed, they have to go through a VPN. So because of that, that's why sometimes there's some connection issues, or sometimes there's like a little bit of artifacting, and it's a little bit the feed isn't as smooth as it otherwise could be. And again, it's kind of like out of our control. It's just, you know, due to the routing that the stream has to go through to get to us. Just adds a heads up. Otherwise, here we go. Otherwise, we are going to be moving out. MaxPax pushing towards that center base. At the same time, Serral trying to catch reinforcements. He will catch a Stalker, not bad. One Stalker going down, and Blink is not ready. And we spoke earlier about how exposed this fourth base is, and I stand by that, but it's applicable to both players. It is applicable to both. Where the fourth base is exposed for the Zerg and the Protoss, and MaxPax is pushing in. Oh. Does try to push in. Stasis Trap is going to be saved. Nice save from Serral. Oh, sorry, from MaxPax. Lings, they collapse on forward. Stasis Trap's going to be baited out. Nicely done. Oh, Stasis Trap does finish towards the end, though. And MaxPax, he maintains his position. Ling's going to be falling left and right behind this. MaxPax, he is taking +1. Robo's on the way as well. Getting to charge, getting to storm. And MaxPax, can he break this location? So far, trading very well with these Lings. Hydra production has begun. And once the Hydra's amassed, then Serral can hold. Until then, Stasis runs out. Once again, catching out the army. Picking up a handful of Stalkers, not bad. And Serral, he holds on. He holds. He finally has a decent Hydra army. Now he has his Ling reinforcements. And Serral, he should be able to defend that fourth base. Did lose a lot of Lings in the process. Did lose a lot of Tumors. But he should be able to survive. And from here, we're getting to a longer game state. As a reminder, MaxPax was not all in. He was not all in, he was only applying pressure. Behind this, remember, fourth base on the way. Gateway Explosion, +2, Storm, High Templar, Prism. MaxPax, he is gearing up towards the mid-game. And Serral now gains map control. The momentum switches from one player to the other. Now Serral moves out, and now it's going to be on MaxPax to defend his fourth. And we'll see if he can. Meanwhile, Serral does split up his army heading towards the natural. At the same time, main army just clash in, does try to at least. So far, good control, but the Lings, they do slip in. They slip into the natural. The force field was late. Late force field by MaxPax. Fourth base is exposed. Lings, they trade decently well. Going for the expansion. Can he force the cancel? Can he? He should be able to, and he will. Big cancellation here on the Nexus. With that, MaxPax is going to be stuck on 3 bases, and we spoke about it. This is a win condition for Serral, is to deny that base over and over and over again. To contain MaxPax and delay the economy for as long as possible. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can. As we do see, Serral is taking up towards Hive. Infestation bits on the way. MaxPax is just throwing down a wall of cannons, wall of shield batteries. He is heavily fortifying that fourth base. Should be safe and sound. MaxPax poking out. Again, this army from Serral is very vulnerable, or it's very fragile. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. It's Lingbane Hydra, a couple of good storms, and this army just melts. Speaking of storms, going to be thrown down. Massive storms on the Lings, storm on the Hydras as well. Ooh, and Serral does take the storms to the face. With that, Serral's going to be forced back. Good trades here from MaxPax. But he's out of storms. And without any more storms, the Hydras are going down. Massive pickoffs, nice stasis. Stasis does pop up. Serral forced back. MaxPax, he holds onto the army. He's able to get away. Zealot drop here in towards the third and towards the main. And this will distract Serral. Serral is distracted. MaxPax pulling back, getting to immortal production. Now again, that attack from MaxPax wasn't too bad outside of the fact that he lost his High Templar. The High Templar account was reset, so he has to rebuild his High Templar, gather up energy once again for Storm, and get ready for the Lurkers. Speaking of, Fleet Beacon's already done, and MaxPax is taking into Skytoss. Is getting ready for that Skytoss tech. Mothership's on the way. Still sticking with a ground-based army. And as long as MaxPax has a handful of Storms available, he should be okay. There's 3 High Templars, sorry, 4 High Templars with the main army. At least 4 Storms. Serral, he is maxed out, but I'm not too confident he can actually do much with this army. I mean, that is a lot of Banelings, though. And even if Serral can't break the main army, he can potentially get into a mineral line. We'll see if he can. Stasis Trap does get baited. High Templar getting ready. Again, this area at the 4th base is very wide open. And once again, Stasis Traps, they will not connect. Link Bait rolling in. Heading towards the mineral line. Yeah, they head towards the 4th base, and probes, they're going to be going down. Good connections. Probes do fall, and Serral, he backs off. And he gets 17 probe kills. Some of those connections did occur off screen, but there we go. 17 probes go down. And again, this is all that Serral is hoping for. That's all he's looking to do. Oh, Prism! Oh my god. Not enough dead space here. The Prism goes down. And again, Serral is gearing up once again to knock down that 4th. If he can't kill the base, he's going for the economy. Behind this is taking up in towards the Hive. I mean, Hive is already done. Spire is on the way. Lurker Den's on the way. Let's force out some of those Storms. Nice spread here from Serral. Oof. Does take a massive Storm to the face, though. A lot of Links go down. Serral collapsing in, getting on top of the Immortals, sorry, on top of the Archons. So Archons go down. Massive connections. The Storms are good, but the army gets owned away, and Serral, I believe, is getting into the mineral line. Or at least he's trying to. He's cleaned up. He's cleaned up. Better trade for MaxPax. More Banelings, they roll in. They go for the mineral line, and probes are falling. Getting 7 probe kills. Not the best trades here from Serral, but once again tries to keep, just tries to temper the economy of MaxPax. You know, MaxPax making 3 Tempests at a time. So he defends back at home. He does spot the War Prism. And Serral, he needs those upgrades. Lurker range now on the way. Adrenal +2. Basically, the whole goal here for Serral is to just do everything he can to harass, to cripple the economy, to keep the Protoss back at home. Because once MaxPax starts moving out, I mean, that's when Serral, he needs Lurkers. He's not quite ready for them yet. Serral, as he is now deciding to take up. 10 Corruptors on the way. The first sign here that Serral, he is done with working with this more flimsy army. Now is building up something more robust. Which means we should soon be seeing those Lurkers. Ultra Cavern on the way. Throwing down every tech structure he can. Getting ready for any kind of situation. Lings, they get eyes on the 5th. But I'll be honest, at this point, I don't think Serral can stop this. I think the 5th base, it is safe and sound. We spoke earlier that the 4th is exposed, and we saw that, hey, Serral, he forced a cancel. He got into the middle line twice. Like, he did get damage at the 4th, but it was not enough to kill MaxPax. So MaxPax, he's gotten past that hurdle. The hurdle of establishing a 4th base on King's Cove. He's done it. Now he gets a 5th base, and now he's maxed. Now he's maxed out. He can afford this late game composition. And Serral, now he's on the back foot. So you can see how, like, in the different, like, phases or stages of ZvP, momentum goes from one player, then the other, then the other. Now it's back in favor of MaxPax. Now MaxPax has the superior army. He's pushing. And Serral, he's still refining his own upgrades here and getting into his own Lurkers. There we go. Now Serral is stuck at home. Serral is stuck at home. The creep is leaving much to be desired. Nice Storm on the Ling Bane. Corruptors are diving in. And is there enough support here for the Tempest? MaxPax, he backs up. Recoiling towards the top side. Heading towards that northern base. Corruptors are able to keep up. Army does rotate. Corruptors are in position. And Serral dives in, gets a fungal. Very nice. Does land a fungal, gets 1. 1 Tempest goes down. However, the army does rotate. Oh, we do catch out some of these Archons. Bit of miscontrol there, a bit of mismovement from MaxPax. Gets caught out with that massive link counterattack. Now MaxPax, he does have a recall. He can recall to a base. And there it is. There's that recall back home. Now both recalls are on cooldown. That is something we have to kind of bear in mind. We have to keep track of the recalls. I mean, so does Serral. When they're available, when they're not. With that, MaxPax does defend. Shuts down the Lings. Rotates over. Ultras are on the way. This is an interesting choice. Typically, Ultras are ideal if the Immortal count is low. There are a couple of Immortals here. Potentially, Serral believes that there aren't enough Immortals to really stop these Ultras. I'm not entirely convinced, but we'll see. I think there's only 3 Immortals. If so, then this can work. As Ultras have more dive potential, and the way that this works, though, the goal of the Ultra is to get on top of the High Templar, is to tank Storms and dive on those High Templar and force the Archons to be morphed in. We'll see if Serral can pull this up. As Lurkers are being forced back. Catching out 3 of them, not bad. 3 Lurkers do full. Meanwhile, MaxPax rotating over. I believe the recalls are now coming off of cooldown, so they're once again available. This Corruptor's a poke out a little bit too far. 2 Corruptors going down. And here come the Ultras, here come the Fungals! Oh, force a recall. The Ultras, they get one Archon. One Archon goes down. The army recalls over. MaxPax, he commits. Meanwhile, Serral going for a counterattack instead. Yeah, he just ignores the army. The Ultras, they do bring down the 5th. They at least try to. They work through the side defense. But just only the cannons. The cannons, they did their job. They bought time. Serral, he raced straight. MaxPax, he races back home. He defends. Does defend. Now, upon seeing all those Ultras, do you see the production tab? 2 more Robos. 2 more Robos on the way. So MaxPax is getting ready for triple Immortal production. That's exactly what you want against Mass Ultra. So MaxPax, he's adjusting. He's keeping up. He is keeping up. We're now just focusing on Immortal production. Once the Ultra count goes lower, then you can start focusing on more Archons or more Skytos. More High Templar. Aliens, they get caught out. Nicely done there by MaxPax. Serral does have a Nidus, so he could try to Nidus into the main. Speaking of it, there it is. Is going for the Nidus, and MaxPax, he does notice, does respond, forced to recall. Again, because MaxPax is maxed out, he cannot reactively warp in back at home, as he has no free supply. And that can be a danger in this kind of late game position, is your lack of warp-ins. Meanwhile, would you have a neural here on one of the Archons? Storm's going to be going off, feedbacks as well. Ultras, they do catch out through some of those High Templar, though. High Templar, they get away. Wow, they do get away. MaxPax, he holds. I don't know if he saw towards the left-hand side, but there was a big fungal on, I want to say, like 4 or 5 High Templar, but they all survived. Again, thanks to the cloak. You can see the trades. MaxPax moving forward. Now, the High Templar, they did survive, but you can see they're very low. Very low High Templar after that fungal. So, yes, be careful here. 6 Infestors on the way. Last Serral, he needs more time for those Infestors. Broodlords are morphing in. Well, we've been here before, but it does feel like Serral, he's relying quite heavily here on these Infestors for Neurals. Otherwise, they may be in trouble. Recall back home. Also, actually, recall here towards left-hand side. It dives on the army. Lurkers going down. The base is exposed. Serral trying to keep up. Landing a fungal. getting some chain fungals as well. Not bad. Here come the Brood Lords. Coming to try and punish. Nice slow zone. The base goes down, and MaxPax, he backs up. So nice pick off here from MaxPax. Meanwhile, we do have the Nidus Swarms here towards the 4th. Lurkers, they deny some mining. They force back the army. They give Serral breathing room. So he needed some time here to recover. But MaxPax, he's been in control for quite some time. Like, the problem with this kind of game state that we're seeing here is that there's barely any creep, there's barely any map control, and Serral, unlike what he would like here in this kind of game state, does not have a bank, or doesn't have a large enough bank to start trading here against the Protoss. Ooh, so do we have a pause? Hopefully everything's okay. But as you can see here, the banks are quite comparable between MaxPax and Serral. The banks are very comparable. So typically when you would want a Zerg player to try to break through and overwhelm with a cheaper army and then remax and rebuild, that isn't really as much of a viable option here for Serral. So he has to go for this kind of slower style, and again he's being bullied back, losing lurkers. There is still a big opportunity for him. Even though he got feedbacked, I believe his infestor count is still very high. He's got a high infestor count. I think he's got like 6. He's got at least 6, maybe 7 infestors. And what he's hoping for here is to catch up the army out in the open, not towards the edge of the map, but out in the open with some Neurals to go for the Tempest, go for the Archons, and take one big fight. And we'll see if he can. See if he can. That's also what MaxPax has to be very careful with how he engages. That's why he's been pushing in, then pulling back. He's intentionally making sure that he's not being caught out by those infestors. Revelation here on the Ultras. And so he is at least taking these northern bases. Likewise, MaxPax getting a fresh base as well. MaxPax getting a 7th Nexus. Likewise, so is Serral. Serral actually now getting an 8th in the center of the map. As we have tectonic destabilizers on the way. Greater upgrades, more cannons, more shield batteries. MaxPax looking very secure back at home. And Serral, he can't really push into these locations. He really just has to wait for MaxPax to push into him. That's the reality here. Like, if you look at those bases, they're just so heavily fortified. They're so well set up. It just rotates, kind of use this location. Has the high ground. Fungal coming in, and does force a recall. And again, this is what Serral's hoping for, to cash the army out. Recalls in time, does get away. Oh no, does get away, and we do see MaxPax moving in. A little bit of buffer though. I imagine not on our end. No, did the stream go down? Okay. Yes, production team, get it together. Now is not the time. As we go, Storm's gonna be popping up. Oh, nice snipe here on the mothership. But remember, there's another recall. There's another recall available, and the infestors are out of position. And this is where, yeah, we do have some latency issues here. Okay, hopefully everything's okay. If not, I might get in contact with the SCBoy team. Might get in contact as the armies are posturing. Yeah, this is again less than ideal. So for the next game, we might actually go in game. We'll see. Alright, we're good. Okay. Let's focus. Let us focus as we do have the Broodlords pushing in. Oh, trying to catch the army out of position. Not bad. Broodlords actually laying siege upon that base. Nice fungal. Slowing down the Tempest. There's another one right here towards the top side. Broodlords a melee takedown side defense. Another nice fungal, but alas, there's no follow-up. And MaxPax, he does hold. Yeah, and all the others are reporting that there is some latency issues. Yeah, so it's not just us. Again, everyone's casting via clean feed. We might end up joining their games if this continues. Might happen. Just trying to set up for that. Otherwise, we do try to engage. We do try to dive in. MaxPax does activate his cloak, pulling back, saves his workers. Temper shots going off, takes down the Broodlords. Yeah, and MaxPax, he holds his own. As I mentioned before, just trying to push into these locations is not easy here for Serral. At least takes down all the cannons. Ah, no. Don't apologize. It's taking me out of it a little bit with the latency issues, with the connection issues, I should say. But yeah, like Rotterdam and all the other guys, they're all complaining as well. They're like, guys, what's going on? I'm gonna go in game just in case. Now, Serral, he does retreat. He has been able to build up a bank. Meanwhile, we have almost pure Skytals on the way from MaxPax. We have carriers in production, another Stargate. But what I was trying to get at here is that, again, I really do appreciate how mobile MaxPax was being when it came to his army, when it comes to his movement, making use of those recalls. But for now, is stuck at home. Rotating once again. Serral able to shut down those cannons, making sure they don't get back up and running. Broodlords moving forward. And Serral going for a split push, going for the center base and the base on the right-hand side. And he should be able to bring it down. MaxPax out of position. Por favor. As MaxPax does engage, nice fungal. Fungal goes off, catching out the Immortals at least. But again, just the Immortals. Tempest moving in. And again, I do apologize for this. Again, this hasn't been an issue. This hasn't been an issue for almost the entirety of Coliseum of the playoffs, but for whatever reason today, it's oh god. For whatever reason today, the clean feed is struggling. But okay, we're back. Clean feed is back. Looks like Serral, he lost the base on the left-hand side, and he's going to lose it again. MaxPax, he will shut it down. Now, MaxPax, he did burn through most of his gas, remaxing on Carrier. Throughout the course of these past couple of engagements, I do apologize for being a little bit out of it just because the stuttering just took me out. But it looks like he has been bleeding out some of his ground-based army. I'm referring to his Immortals, his High Templar, his Archons, as replacing them with more Carriers and more Tempest. So MaxPax, he is burning through his gas bank. His gas bank is drying up. Likewise, moving forward. Northern base gets shut down. Nice pick off here from Serral. Oh, and we land a fungal. That big fungal here in the army. Doing another fungal. Feedback's gonna be popping up. And MaxPax, he does get away. MaxPax sacrificing one High Templar for those feedbacks. Does avoid the chain fungal. Meanwhile, Miss Rally. Carrier goes down. Oh. Serral pulling back. Meanwhile, going for a recall towards the mothership, and he wants the base. He wants the expansion. Serral out of position. He's racing on over. MaxPax taking down some of the spores, but Serral, he's here. He has made it. MaxPax, he backs the hell off. Doesn't want to get caught out. Does pull away. Pulls back for now. So once again, just setting up, sniping more cannons. Forcing MaxPax to send more resources. Still just sharking around. Up. Hoping to catch one of those High Templar. Main army is moving in. Again, it's a small little micro move, but every single time he gets fungled, he intentionally moves everything back except for like 1 or 2 High Templar just to feed back the infestors. It's really cool. He's been doing it quite consistently throughout this game. And it just makes sure that he avoids a second fungal. He just avoids his army getting locked out. Behind this, both players using expansions. The map is cut in half. Okay, let's go 8 base versus 8 base. Let's go. Serral, brave. Okay, calm down. Looking for any kind of stray units. A Tempest, a Mothership. Speaking of, Mothership is spotted. Doesn't quite go for it. Remember, they can't be abducted. Serral somewhat getting cornered, but there is side defense. And he pushes in the right-hand side instead. So committing right down mid, okay. I mean, there's not that many cannons. We'll force a recall. Serral, he pulls away. Again, it's all about these little skirmishes and trying to catch the army out of position. Now, that was a base recall. I believe there's still a Mothership recall. Speaking of, there it is. There's a first fungal. 1 Tempest goes down. He gets a Tempest. He gets a High Templar, and I think an Archon as well. But does recall in time. Despite that, MaxPax bleeding out a couple of units. And now he's stuck at home. Basically, MaxPax, he shouldn't be pushing until he has 2 recalls available, like we just saw. You need those recalls so you don't get caught out. So moving in on the right hand side. Okay. So they said, I don't know if you saw earlier when the clean feed just completely just went dark, but they did restart, and apparently it's good, looking good. I just jinxed it, didn't I? But now we can focus on the cast. Meanwhile, main base goes down, or center base goes down. Nice nothing by Serral. Once again, MaxPax out of position. We'll lose the expansion. And Serral has just been slowly picking off bases, slowly picking off units. Been very efficient, mainly using fungals or trading out some inexpensive army units. And now he has a bank. Previously, I was talking about like 15 minutes ago how the banks were quite comparable to each other, and I was concerned for Serral. Not anymore. He's there. He is him. Oh. Catches out 2 oracles. We'll take a stasis to the face. MaxPax, does he try to collapse on those infestors? Nah, not quite. He backs off. Does back off from here. MaxPax rotating. There are lurkers in position. So he's ready for this, at least somewhat. Yeah. Bars in time. Does borrow. MaxPax looks like he wants to rotate over towards the left. Earlier, so he was struggling to spread creep, but now there's creep all over the map. Has gained map control. MaxPax just stuck at home. It's already been 30 foot. I didn't even notice. Getting up to the 40-minute mark. I mean, you think this is anything? No. We haven't even casted on Abyssal yet. Or Amygdala. No, we'll get there. We'll get there. No. Thankfully, Neon Violet Square was vetoed. Neon was vetoed. So we've gotten rid of a potential hour-long game there. We got rid of it. The other maps, though, get ready. Both armies to back off, still posturing. We do see MaxPax ready with one recall towards the left-hand side. So he could try to dive on that expansion. I'm sure his goal here is to distract on the right and then recall to the left. Doesn't want to get caught out. So he sees the mothership. He knows. Going for the oink, he gets a carrier. Not bad. Carrier goes down. MaxPax doesn't commit, replacing the carrier with the Tempest. Both players on a very low drone count, just super maxed armies. So far they're keeping up. Serral, he is taking these extra bases. Again, one of these center bases typically belongs to the Protoss, but Serral has both. At least for now. Does hold into both. Zealot run by ZvP. Oh, the Burrow Micro. Let's go. I appreciate it. MaxPax, he does commit in. It does push in. The base is going to go down. Nice pickup. Elastic gases have already been mined through here. There's less value in this expansion, but does bring it down. Even the Revelation. 10 drones falling. Nice pickup here by MaxPax. From here, he should now rotate towards the right. Serral getting ready for it. As we should be fighting over this this really last fresh mining base. As it is mainly fresh, mainly untouched. And MaxPax is going for it. Serral, he's waiting for him. I'm a little bit concerned by the lack of static defense at that location. That could be a factor. We'll see. For Serral, I mean. 5 swords being thrown down. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Not too important here. We have plenty of money, plenty of minerals. Yeah, spores are setting up. You can see Serral, he's anticipating an attack towards his natural. Tempest, they get behind the base. We'll see if Serral can save this expansion. He's gearing up. This goes off. MaxPax going for the recall in. Oh my god. Didn't even notice the mothership. Does recall in. Natural goes down. Going for the main. Going for the production. And remember, he has a recall to come back home. How far does he go? Yeah, catching so completely off guard. Does race back. That's just coming in. And there's that recall. MaxPax not losing a single unit. Ooh. We'll lose an expansion. But does take down all the lurkers. Yeah, Serral is not looking too happy about that. Now, there was nothing major. I believe as we're seeing here in the production tab, the Spire, the Hydrogen, and the Infestation Pit being rebuilt. But that also means less vision at the natural, which means for the next time we see this, we could see MaxPax diving right into the main, going right for the hive. As the mothership is once again in position. And once again, both recalls are on cooldown, so we have to wait. We gotta wait for them to come back off, and then MaxPax netting an attack. Then he can move in. He's just perpetually waiting for the recalls. Without them, it's a little bit risky to be active like this. Lings, they just trade against the cannons. I mean, hey, Serral, he's got, what, 8k minerals. He can afford this. Just flooding Lings across the map. Going for fringe bases, going for economies or mineral lines. Corruptors, they're fishing for the mothership. Mothership goes down. Massive pickup. Serral pulling MaxPax apart. Nicely done. Gets 10 probes. A line of cannons and the mothership. What's happening in the chat? Why are you guys talking about contaminating a cannon? Of course that wouldn't work. What do you what do you mean? The dream. Meanwhile, here come those infestors. Oh, not quite. Nice feedback here on the Vipers. "42 minutes and MaxPax, he hasn't even blinked once. Mate, he is locked in." Has that ever happened to you where you're I don't know, you're locked into a gaming session and then you realize you just haven't blinked in a while and your eyes are just hella dry? That's MaxPax right now. He's set. Oh. Yeah, he's so close to sniping that base. Bungle goes off. He does turn around. Catches an infestor. Nice powerbomb. Powerbomb here on the main army. Force a recall. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, almost 5 Tempests going down. Carrier as well. Nice catch from Serral. With that MaxPax does plummet in supply. Has to rebuild. Yeah, that was a brutal catch. And from here, Brutalers, they have access to the natural. Stargate goes down. You see that 3 Tempests and 1 Carrier. And an Oracle. So very nice catch. Now, despite the bank being much lower here from MaxPax, he still has a little potential to outtrade this army. But both players have been just so careful with their engagements. I mean, we've been here for 44 minutes. We could be here for another 44. Serral and Max, they're willing. They're playing it slow. Maybe they got nowhere to be. What about Hero? Isn't he waiting? Nah. He can wait. It's guys, I was scheduled to play in an hour. It's no. What do you mean? Come back tomorrow. We got a best of 7 to play. Ah, okay. We can message Hero. We'll be like, mate, you can get some sleep if you want. You can. It's gonna be a while. This is only game 1, by the way. It's okay, I'll have a 4-hour power nap and then I'll be good to go. Then we'll be halfway through the series. Oh no. Oh! As we go for the Neurals get broken. Gonna be recalling here on top of the army. Corruptor's out of position. Nice Storms. Lurker's gonna be going down, catching out the Infestors as well. Very nice pickups, and from here we can always recall back. As recall should be available. MaxPax pulling away. Does go around the left hand side. Corruptors are coming in. assuming he has it. Oh. Drop goes 8. Catch a carrier. And MaxPax, he escapes. Does escape. Does get away. Oh, did I speak too soon? 10% a carrier. Not bad. Picks off a Tempest, picks off a carrier. Will bleed out a couple of Corruptors, but last Serral, he has a bank he can rebuild. He can replace that. He can afford these trades. At the same time, once again, another Ling run by towards the natural. Likewise, Brewlords, they catch out the Archons. Very nicely done. Just out-positioning MaxPax. Gets a Fungal off. Catches one. One Archon goes down. Lings are still wreaking havoc in the main. Forcing MaxPax back. Just creating these opportunities. These little wins here and there for Serral. Again, every unit counts. MaxPax, he cannot max out. Not anymore. He's down to 1,000 gas. And Serral, he might have just done it. Might have just done it here. Oh no! Oh no! Wait, what's going on? That's Serral! I spoke too soon. So, you can see his reaction on cams. Serral, calm down. He's not happy about that. He's not, I mean, does accidentally move command into the army with all of his infestors, and see, that's what MaxPax needs. See, that's the game he's playing for. Yo, let's go. It all worked. He lured Serral in, made him overconfident, move commands his army. MaxPax is back in this. Oh god. Oh no. Not like this. Now, Serral, he does rebuild 8 infestors. 8 infestors, they were just rebuilt. But last time they have less energy. They can still fungal. Oh. Shots going up. Infestors coming in. To lend a fungal. Stasis does catch out the infestors, though. At least 2 of them. MaxPax does get away. Does slip away. Takes down the base on the right-hand side. Denies an expansion. Nicely done. I saw the chat. I saw Max smile. I missed it. I missed it. I'm sure he did. Yo. When he saw those infestors waddling in, his eyes lit up. It's crazy. Oh, speaking of though, Max, as he gets caught. Massive fungals. Recall does save most of the army. But these are missteps that Max says he cannot afford. Again, he's out of gas. It's one and done, his army, I mean. So, pulling away. Does pull away. Lurker's gonna be harassing here towards the right hand side. MaxPax, he's just giving up on the base. Pushing in. Fester's coming in from behind. Oh. So he wants the feedbacks. Well, MaxPax, he wants the feedbacks. Gets an expansion. Base goes down. Serral slips into the main, going for the production. Let's force a warp in. Does force a defensive warp in. MaxPax, he's rotating back over. Gives up the main. But again, he just cannot push deep onto creep. Not with all these infestors, unless he can catch them out, of course. It's already happened once. True. once again pushing in towards that base. At this point, I do feel like Serral can be a little bit more proactive at this point. I mean, the problem here is that he doesn't know that MaxPax doesn't have a bank, right? He doesn't know that MaxPax, he's broke. He cannot max. He has 0 income, 0 gas income. As MaxPax, he has no gas mining. Serral still playing it safe. Catches the Oracle. Pulls away. Picks up High Templar as well. Nicely done. Hook gets activated. Nice fungal. And with that, if we can just keep landing. Yeah, the fungals, they continue. And with that, the final fight here, Serral can commit in. Broodlords, they can just go ham here on the ground army. Feedback's going up. But we're running out of High Templar. Yeah, Serral just dives in. He just commits. He overwhelms, and MaxPax, he will lose everything. GG gets called, and Serral, he takes game number 1. GG, well played. Serral looking a little bit upset towards the end there, especially I would imagine because of the misstep he had earlier. But GG, he will take game 1, and he will kick things off with a win here in the series. Whew. And let's get ready to do that again, because up next we have Abyssal Reef. Let's go. Abyssal Reef is coming up next. Another large map, another map known for turtle play, another map known for maxing out and cutting the map in half. Abyssal Reef does share some similarities here with King's Cove. I would say it takes it one step further though. King's Cove, if you remember, there was a lot of contention around the 4th base, a lot of contention around the 4th base location, and Serral, he was able to deny the 4th base once and get the mineral line twice, if you recall. Here on Abyssal Reef, the 4th base is much more defendable. It's much more secure. The 5th base as well, the 6th base. So when it comes to maxing out and turtling up and cutting the map in half, I do feel like Abyssal Reef is more favored for that kind of style. We'll see. We shall see. As this series is going to be all about endurance. Meanwhile, Hero, again, he can just go and he can have a nap. He can Hero, he can just go and get some sleep, and get some rest, have a nap, and then jump back in a couple of hours for his series, where what I'm getting at here is that he is free to kind of enjoy himself while these two have a brutal best of 7. And jumping in the top left-hand corner, we have MaxPax for Sidestorm Gaming. In the bottom right, we have Serral for Basilisk. As that was only game 1. Only game 1. Let's go. So going for a 15 hatch, going for an extractor trick. Oh, sorry. Extractor trick into spawning pool, into hatch first. Standard opener out of Serral. Likewise, MaxPax setting up back at home as well. And welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Again, Abyssal Reef is the 2nd largest map of the map pool, 2nd largest only to Neon Violet Square, which is vetoed in this series. And again, your natural, your 3rd base, your 4th base, your 5th base, all very secure here. Your 6th is more exposed, that is true. The 6th base can be more difficult to hold on to. But once we end up in that kind of game state, I think maxed out armies can maintain that. And just quickly touching on that previous game, I do really appreciate how MaxPax was approaching things. Hero, I don't want to say he pioneered it, but a couple of years ago, Hero was doing the very same thing, where he would be aggressive with one army, pushing in and use the mothership to recall to another side of the map to keep pushing, to catch the defending Zerg player out of position. We saw this a lot on Altitude. That was, I think, back in early 2023, maybe late 2022. But like on the Altitude map pool, did see that a lot. And we saw it used massively here on King's Cove as well, where Serral was being pulled apart. Eventually, Serral was able to stabilize, and he was able to outtrade his opponent. But for a lot of that game, things were very close and very clutch between both Serral and MaxPax when it came to how efficient they were being and the banks they were building up. But we'll see how players do adjust over time. Now, as a reminder, that last game, because of how exposed the 4th base is, Serral, he was very aggressive and very committed on a 3-base economy, as he was just stuck on Lingbane Hydra a little bit longer. Eventually, of course, he did tech up and did, head towards Hive Tech, but he did commit a little bit harder to Lingbane Hydra. I don't see that happening here on Abyssal Reef, but we'll see. We'll see if Serral does tech faster this time, or if he still stays on lair tech a little bit longer. Teasing Serral is definitely a choice. I don't think that's necessary here for MaxPax. Winding it back, talking about the previous series, it was in the late game where MaxPax and Hero did defeat Serral in their respective series in this tournament. Like, it was in late game where Serral did crumble. So I would, if you recall, I said that at the start of the series, and I still maintain that, where that is where MaxPax can thrive. We saw that Serral did take that last game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he will take it every time. And that's he will be in the same position as he was on King's Code. So we shall see. As initially we do have the Void Ray opener out of MaxPax hunting down the Overlords, keeping Serral in the dark. Does keep him in the dark. Getting into his Oracle, getting to a third base. MaxPax does move in, threatens the mineral line. Shouldn't really get much damage done, but again, he's just hiding his tech here, and we could see MaxPax try to rush into Skytoss. We saw something similar out of Raynor earlier today. But that is going to be Nexus into Twilight Council into a Forge. So standard play. Standard timing with the Twilight Council, standard Forge as well. Should be +1, and Blink here from a Protoss player. Nice trades over these Lings, takes out both Zealots. Both Zealots go down, Oracle has to race back home, Void Ray's out of position. And can Serral get the Pylon? Oh, not quite. Pylon does survive. Pylon does survive. MaxPax, he's secure. And Serral, he does go for a safety Roach Warren. This time did not go for an early Evo chamber. He is droning, getting his lair. And MaxPax, he's not going for Blink, he's going to charge. It was a tell that MaxPax, he actually tried to defend that base with Zealots, not with Adepts. So warping his Zealots is a tell, and MaxPax is being more aggressive. Okay. Now, if Serral skips Roach production, if he goes purely Ling Hydra again, then there is going to be a window here where where Serral is vulnerable and MaxPax can punish him. As there is going to be a big timing here with charge and +1 and Archons. So we'll see if MaxPax can catch him off guard. Back at home, +1 range is on the way. Lings are amassing no roaches yet here from Serral. There we go, safety roaches. And this is going to be ideal. Again, Serral, he does need roaches as the army is soon to be upon him. We're waiting for that War Prism. Ah, roaches into a Spire. Okay. Interesting. Hopefully he doesn't bank up too many resources for mutas, as we will need roaches. Prism moves out. They say threaten the third. And here come those Archons. Archons morphing in. Bit of a cancel there from MaxPax, which is less than ideal. Does slow him down. But here comes that timing with +1 and charge. Again, very crisp here by MaxPax, hitting in 10 seconds. But again, as we mentioned, thankfully Serral did not go into Hydras. He already has roaches. But does he have enough? Yeah, he has plenty. Roaches, they respond, they get revealed, and MaxPax, he has to get the hell out of here. He cannot push in. Is going to be forced back. Serral, he defends. Again, he was blindly already setting up roach production. So good call here by Serral. And MaxPax, he's forced to transition. He starts +2, second robo. Storm has begun, but remember, these upgrades, his tech is late. And now MaxPax, he's in trouble, as Serral is maxing out. Zealot drop towards the natural. Prism into the main. Rocks are being knocked down. And what does MaxPax have at home to defend? He's building up 2 immortals at a time, cannon as well. MaxPax, he is vulnerable. And here comes Serral, he's maxing out. He's going for a 3-base all-in. Just straight up 3-base all-in. 66 drones. Serral, he commits. And again, MaxPax, he's in a lot of trouble. He's behind. I mean, the failed timing here puts him in a really brutal position. Storm is not ready. Wild's him away. Zalse go down. Immortals are exposed. There are some shield batteries, thankfully, but they're running out of NG. Yeah, just not enough here to defend. Oh, we got 2 immortals coming in, though. There's the recall. Zalse collapse on the Ravagers. Prism recalls back home. How about the immortals? They're going down. They're going down one after the other. Serral, he has done it. He breaks on through. Breaks the 3rd base. He punishes MaxPax, and this time we're seeing a much shorter game. We're not going to be entering the late game here. Not on Abyssal Reef. Not this time. GG gets called, and Serral takes a 2-0 lead. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. A bold move by MaxPax. Bold move. Again, winding it back, as we were pointing out, MaxPax, he had gone for a big charge timing. His goal, his hope, was to blindly try to counter Serral, hoping that Serral was playing greedy and going Ling Hydra. As we saw, Serral, he went for a safety Roach Warren and made safety Roaches, and he was fine. Like, he had a Roach army already building up. He was able to deflect the initial charge timing, and MaxPax, he just crumbled from there. We saw that Serral, as soon as he saw that he had momentum, he just cut workers at 66, went for a massive Roach all-in. GG. GG, well played. Was able to break MaxPax before Storm could finish, and before MaxPax could stabilize after the failed aggression from the Protoss. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 3. So I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that MaxPax, he folded, in the sense that, like, his approach to Abyssal was to try to catch Serral off guard, and MaxPax, he was the aggressor instead of playing at macro instead. With that, I mean, it was a big gamble, it was a big risk, and in the end, did not quite work out. And now we're loading into game 3, and this is where I'm really concerned, because this is where Serral can thrive. We're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. As opposed to King's Cove, as opposed to Abyssal, where you have these more secure bases, where it is known for macro late game, Whispers of Gold is not. Whispers of Gold has a very exposed 3rd, very exposed 4th, short rush distance by ground. You can knock down the rocks, you can reduce the time it takes even longer, also even shorter, and a player like Serral can all in. that's what I'm getting at. All-ins, they hit hard here. And sporting in the bottom right hand corner, we have MaxPax for Sidestorm. In the top left, we have Serral for Basilisk. What I'm getting at is aggression is favored here on Whispers of Gold. It goes both ways. Whether it's MaxPax or Serral who wants to be aggressive, it can favor them. We'll see who goes for it first. We shall see. As MaxPax is setting up here on the low ground. Serral, he was in the hyperbolic time chamber. True, true. After Serral, after he went down in the playoffs, after he went down to MaxPax previously, yo, he took Raynor with him, dragged him into the chamber. He's his Vegeta. It may have been days for us, but it was years for them. Oh, the years. Oh no. And now he's ready. He's ready for the rematch. He's ready for MaxPax. Look, it makes sense. It's all draggable. It's fine. Oh, no. As so far, standard openers. Serral fortunately the unnatural natural. And likewise, just standard opener here by MaxPax. Settling into the Stargate, and we'll keep an eye on the tech of choice. Basically, what we're looking for here is the timing of the Twilight Council. We'll see if he throws it down before the 3rd base, as the 3rd base is taken, or after. To see if MaxPax goes for something crazy like Glaive Adepts. We shall see. Storm here, we're calming down. Oh, interesting. Serral being a little bit greedier here. So Serral, he skips his second queen. He delays his queen here for a faster third hatchery. That's why he's only making one queen at a time. So, bold move. As the hatchery is already on the way, so a very greedy build here by Serral. Does mean that his queen count is going to be lower, but does make up for it with a faster third base and ideally better larva. Better saturation. That gets turned away. And so far, Serral, he's keeping up. So far, so good. Oh, that's a tumor. Tumor goes down. MaxPax just poking in. Behind this should be expanding, should be getting a third. As the Oracle has arrived. Nice catch here from Serral, though. Yes, around ZvP. He gets one. He's going for the other as well. Oracle arrives 1 second too late, and this means that the third base is that much more exposed. Without those two adepts, these things, they can come back in. Third base now on the way from MaxPax, expanding towards his opponent. Or taking the triangular third. Oracle takes a lot of hits, gets 2 drones. Does take a lot of damage. But now Serral just droning up. Lings, they move out. As we mentioned, only one adept at home to defend. It's only whispers, nothing tangible. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. They're lies. Ooh, as Serral, he's going for a bit of an earlier Roach Warren this time. Okay. It's going to be a 430, 440-ish Roach Warren timing. So once again, a very safe play here by Serral. And again, it makes sense here on Whistles of Gold. It's so risky skipping Roaches here on this map. As the Oracle barely has 1 HP. No shot. The 1 HP Oracle. He gets away. I'll sip away. Gateway explosion behind this. Tech is done. And we should be seeing, yeah, +1 and Blink on the way. Now, I believe MaxPax is getting up to 6 gateways. We'll keep an eye on him. If he doesn't take his gases, if he throws down 2 more gateways, he could just go for a 3-base all-in. So Oracles, they do sit by. Get 3, 4 drone kills, not bad. As MaxPax is securing himself. +1 melee in production here for Serral. He does have the Roach Warren, but this time it looks like he wants to skip Roaches and go Ling Hydra. The Roach Warren is just for safety, but he's not making any. And thankfully he doesn't need any. Doesn't need any back at home. So far keeping up with the Oracles, getting a 4th base. Roach speed is on the way. Lair is now done. And as we take extra gases, we could soon be seeing that that Hydrogen. New Temple Archives here from MaxPax. Going +1 and Blink into Archons and Storm. Taking gases, MaxPax is not going for a 3-base all-in. We've hit that point, we've gone past it. Which means we're playing out a standard game. Okay. Playing it out standard. As MaxPax moves out, he should soon be expanding. Pushing towards the 4th. Serral, he does make some safety roaches. Trying to keep up. Lings, they move out, they delay the 4th. Nicely done. Yeah, the probe goes down. And for now, MaxPax, he's contained. He's stuck on 3 bases. He needs that 4th. Storm does begin. Serral trying to bait out that Stasis Trap. Unable to, though. MaxPax trading well. Does trade well. Serral coming in from behind. Once again, the one on the Stasis does connect. Very nice Stasis. And so MaxPax, he can just keep pushing. Gets a Queen. Queen goes down. Base under threat. Shouldn't be able to get it, but can maybe get another Queen. Going for the roaches. Lings once again, they come in for a strap, but they take another stasis to the face. Oh my god. The stasis traps. Yeah, brutal trade here for Serral. So many Lings go down. But MaxPax, he doesn't take his chances here. He backs off. Backs off. Traded well. That's 52 Lings for one Stalker. Look at the efficiency. Oh my god. One Stalker. One Stalker went down. Ay, ay, ay. So again, just really nice trades from MaxPax. He pulls away. Storm is now done, getting a 4th base, and working towards a longer game state, working towards the mid game. Likewise, so is Serral. Now, Serral, I believe he skipped his Hydrogen. If he threw it down, I did miss it. Instead of going for a Doom Drop, he's crazy. Going for a Doom Drop instead, towards the main. Just committing to Ling Roach Ravager. Rushing into the Infestation Pit. Into the Hive. Serral is almost maxed out, going for a split push. Lings, they distract towards the 4th. The drop lords, they got spotted. They get spotted. Despite that, MaxPax late to respond, late to react. Comes in with a handful of Stalkers, that's not going to be good enough. And Lings, they flood in. There are some storms. Oracle goes down, massive pickup. Yeah, High Templar as well. Contamination on +2. Lings, they flood in towards the 3rd. And MaxPax is getting torn apart. But not losing too much. Not losing too much here. Losing only 4 probes. Did react well. Did pull away in time. And in total will lose 13 workers. MaxPax holds. Does hold on. Serral behind this. Still doesn't have a Hydrogen. Hive is on the way. The tech is late here for Serral. He was quite committed and this did not do enough damage. As Serral, he hasn't really been joining up behind this. There we go. 9 drones now finally on the way. Serral, he was very committed. And now MaxPax, he can stabilize. He can stabilize from here. Serral going for the 4th. Last MaxPax, he's in position. Nice Storm. Storm goes off. Serral, he has to retreat. Lurker Den now on the way, but again, the Hive Tech and the Lurker Tech is late here. It is delayed for Serral. The droning as well. Now he's up to 81. He's finally got a good economy. He's gotten there. On the flip side, MaxPax has a terrifying army. Remember, there are no Lurkers. This force can break through. It's pushing in. So he has to be so careful with how he engages. Has to respect the storms. Trying to come in for a flank. Hydra's getting caught out. Nice pickups here by MaxPax. They'll take it for a run by. Storms here on the Hydras, on the Lings as well. Oh, the stage traps, they pop up. They actually save some of these Hydras. And Max actually just all over Serral. Again, Serral, he gets caught off guard. Again, the drop did not do well enough. GG gets caught, and MaxPax, he does bring it back. Puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. Oh my god. Oh, production team. What's going on? Ah, there we go. GG, well played. I think they got caught off guard. But with that, MaxPax does take a game. Again, Serral, he was hyper committed with the Doom Drop. As a reminder, Serral, he did cut workers at 3 base saturation. He did cut tech as well, so he was stuck on, I think it was like 66 or 67 drones. No Hive, no Infestation Pit, no Hydras, nothing else. Hyper committed with Ling at Roach. And again, just really solid defense from MaxPax in that last game, despite not TR, but it's been a while. Been a while since we've really seen him embrace that. We'll see where he takes us. In the bottom right hand corner, we have MaxPax for Psystorm. In the bottom left, Serral for Basilisk. Let's go. Let us go. As again, welcome one and all to El Dorado. We do have gold bases towards the center of the map, towards the center southern half of the map, I should say. And as a result, the players that can mine through those middle patches earlier on and gain access to those bases and take the gold base as a 3rd, take it as a 4th base, rush into the center gold base as well, and have a boosted economy. Likewise, if both players expand towards each other and if both players mine through those patches, then the rush distance by ground becomes very, very short, and you could see hyper aggressive play be very successful on El Dorado. On the flip side, if neither player opens up those minerals, then the rush distance by ground is a little bit longer instead. It can be more difficult to be aggressive, and we could see the Protoss, for example, head towards Skytos and head towards a fleet beacon into more Stargates. That is viable if that kind of scenario plays out. Otherwise, we'll see. We'll see where our players do take us. For now, just gate expand. Gate expand into Cyber Core, standard images for the time being. Nothing too crazy yet. We're just keeping an eye on our players to see if they do mine through those patches. Do we open up the map or do we not? When it comes to the last game, I don't think I'm too fond of the idea of Serral being the aggressor initially. Yes, two games ago, Serral did all-in MaxPax, that is true. But if you remember, that was on Abyssal Reef, and that was after the failed aggression of MaxPax, right? It was like more of a reactive all-in, I should say. Which, again, was a lot more successful, of course. Here, game number 3, the last game, it was Serral being the initiator, and yeah, a lot less success there. MaxPax, he defended beautifully. So I'm hoping that Serral does calm things down at least a little bit more, as we have the initial Stargate for MaxPax. Interesting location, the Stargate behind the mineral line. We could end up opening up Void Ray once again to try to keep Serral in the dark. We'll keep an eye on MaxPax. Meanwhile, Serral, he is mining through those mineral patches, and Serral, he is looking to go for the triangular third. So he's expanding towards his opponent. Likewise, Creep is going to be spreading faster as well. Meanwhile, MaxPax has yet to start opening up that patch. Most likely going for a linear expand instead. Stargate is done, and the Void Ray is on the way. Again, did feel like a Void Ray opener just because of the location of the Stargate. Usually, you want to throw down the Stargate further back if you want to lure the Void Ray. So, if you want to lure the Overlord further in to catch it out with the Void Ray. And a Void Ray opener is just designed to keep the Zerg player in the dark. Doesn't have to be to high tech, but it can be, right? We can go for a faster Twilight Council into Glaives, or go from Void Ray into Fleet Beacon into Skytos. These are possibilities here. And the goal here for MaxPax is to keep Serral guessing. Keeping guessing, keeping the dark. Make sure that Serral doesn't know what's going on. Could just be a standard game, but Serral doesn't know. Third base is on the way. Standard timing with the third. Void Ray hunting down more Overlords. And so far, there's no early tech. Just third base. It looks like it's going to be just a standard timing with the Twilight Council and the Forge. Nothing crazy out of MaxPax. Just the Void Ray. Void Ray pokes out. So, fighting for the Zelnaga. You see Serral checking the mineral patch as well. The mineral wall. Ooh, as the Oracle takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. A little bit greedy there by MaxPax. Not quite worth it. Takes a lot of damage on that Oracle. Now, this is actually a bit of a later Twilight Council and Forge. Later than I'm used to seeing. As the third base is almost done at this point. And MaxPax, he was banking on resources as well. Like, he has the minerals and gas for it. So, that feels like a bit of a misstep there from MaxPax. Just a bit of a shakier start from him. As his upgrades are going to be a little bit later than usual. Likewise, Gateway Explosion. Safety Roach Warren by Serral. There it is, plus on a blink. But again, it's going to be finishing up later than what we would expect to see here from MaxPax. By a couple of seconds. Coming into this, after kind of the failed all-in from Serral, we should be seeing him tech up towards Hydras this time, or even Aspire. There we go, plus one melee on the way. Shouldn't be committing as hard into Roaches. Roach speed is in production though. We'll see if he intends to commit into Roach production. Back at home, MaxPax going for this. Going for the Temple Archives. Robo. Storm. Same setup as last game. It's just stock standard play. Is the go-to. Oh, and that's interesting. Serral is going for the infestation bits before the Hydroden. Interesting. So if the hive begins and if there is no Hydroden, then there is a chance that Serral is going Ling Roach into Ultras. There is a chance. As our eyes are peeled and looking for that Hydroden. If it never gets thrown down, of course, then it should be Ultras. Now, I'm not too fond of the idea of Ultras on this map, but I'm here for it. Sure. we'll see. Oh, okay. Swarm Host. Never mind. That is viable on this map. Okay. Swarm Host on the way. Bold move. Now, the reason why we see Swarm Host quite often on El Dorado is because of the terrain. As you can imagine, MaxPax, he did not mine through those minerals. Because he didn't open up his triangular third location, that area is prime for a Nidus and prime for Locust Waves. So depending on how you expand on this map, it can make this more viable here. It's why we see Dark, for example, and Shin go for Swarm Host quite often on El Dorado, even against Terran opponents. Even against Bio-Terran opponents, which is crazy, but it's more viable. Okay. And because of the rush distance by ground, they don't even need a Nidus. They just waddle across the map. MaxPax is being kept busy. Swarmers, they make their way over. They're in position outside of the main. And MaxPax, he has no idea. Ay. He's trading with the army, but here it comes. Straight for the main base. And what can he get? He can go for the base. He can go for the upgrades instead. The mineral line. Stasis goes off. He's going for the expansion. The Nexus is going to be targeted down. The recall might complete, but the base itself should fall. And it does. And very nicely done. MaxPax down to 2 bases. His 4th still in the way. And Serral can just keep doing this over and over and over again. And MaxPax, I mean, what can he do? He can't really punish it. He can't blink over the wall. If he does, he's going to lose the Stalkers. He'll lose everything. And Serral is almost maxed out. MaxPax, he's supply blocked. Oh no. Not like this. Now, thankfully, Serral is already taking. Hive is on the way. Hydras as well. Lurker Den. It's all in production here for Serral. I almost said Lunker Den. Ah, no. As the Locust Wave just trades here with the army. Picking up a couple of probes. Gonna be 2, 3, almost 4 probes going down. Nicely done. Serral, he's at 200 supply. Already maxed out. Getting ready for another Locust Wave. Yo, shout out to Rodin18. God, happy God. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great time watching the casting, the content, the StarCraft. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you. Oh, nice catch. Once almost goes down. He gets 1. So here comes another Locust Wave. Diving in the army, going for the High Templar. Nice pickup. Templar goes down. Pylon as well. Nothing major. As the Pylon actually survives. Never mind. And Serral is setting up a Doom drop. Okay, I don't know if we need to get this fancy. It's a bit of a risky maneuver, but let's go. 6 drop lords on the way. While Serral is just taking up, investing into those lurker upgrades. MaxPax is trying to be purely defensive and turtle up into Skytoss. Fleet Beacons on the way. Immortals are amassing as well. Again, Serral, he might be maxed out, but MaxPax is not too far behind him. Nice storms! Storms on the Lings. Stasis as well. Ooh, Serral taking a lot of storms to the face. Has to retreat. Like I said, once again pushing in. But Serral, he's not really touching the economy of MaxPax. MaxPax, he should be able to max out. Pushing forward, clearing up these tumors. Oh. Decent storm with the Hydras. Once again, Serral takes the storms to the face. Locust Wave being forced back. And MaxPax, he's stabilizing. When these lurkers come into play, though, I'm not too certain that MaxPax has the best army for this. Yes, there is a Mothership and a Tempest on the way, but I mean, that's not really the Skyshot that we're looking for. MaxPax, he needs more than that. And here come those lurkers. They have arrived. Catching out some of the Stalkers. More Leagues rallying in. Oh, these are rough trades from MaxPax. 2 High Templar go down. Massive pickoffs. So it gets 2 more High Templar. And he might just be able to outscale MaxPax. Supplies are similar, but one is not quite like the other. As he needs more time, we need some more Tempest, more Carrier, more Immortals, more of everything. Oh, let's go. Going for the Doom Drop. Very risky. I don't think we need to do this. Stalkers are ready. And 1 Overlord goes down. 2nd Overlord as well. And a 3rd Overlord. Oh my god. Serral losing a lot of his supply. He's going to lose everything. It's going to be a one-way trip. This was not necessary whatsoever. Every Lurker's going to go down. MaxPax, he trades very well here. Killing every single Lurker. And, Serral, we need to calm down. Well, we did not need to go for that Doom Drop. With that, MaxPax is catching up. Serral, he does remax, shaking his head a little bit on cams, not happy about the outcome of that situation, the outcome of that drop. MaxPax building up more Tempest. So pushing in. Is getting within range here of the mineral line. Is denying some mining. Not bad, getting 6 probes. 6 probes going down. Ling runway here towards the top side as well. He's going for the economy. And does get a couple of workers. Meanwhile, Lurker Save is getting ready. The expansion is under fire. But MaxPax, he defends. He defends top right, but the center base is going to go down. Not bad. So he snipes an expansion. "13 Corruptors on the way. Production in the main is exposed. But this is still a very shaky game state here for Serral. Very shaky. As all MaxPax has to do is just defend and survive. Been doing well so far. Serral taking his half, going into Infestors, maxing out. Getting more upgrades. Well, Serral, he did end up losing 5 Storm Hosts. Did go down. Serral diving in, catching up the Tempest. He gets 1. Yeah, 1 Tempest goes down. The ground army, where's the support? Yeah, where's the rest here for MaxPax? High Templar nowhere to be found. They get zoned away. 2 High Templar do fall. And that's going to be 3 Tempests going down here. Getting a 4th Tempest as well. Getting 5? Gee, almost. So that was a delayed recall from MaxPax. And so, despite losing that Doom Drop, doing well. Kills the Tempest, cashes out High Templar, does pull MaxPax apart. Set it back at home against the Zealot run-by. So still trading well. He's okay. Building up his bank. You know, MaxPax just stuck at home. He has to rebuild his losses, of course. Rebuild his Tempest. Burgers once again going for the expansion. Oh, that microbial. Let's go! That microbial shroud saves the Lurkers. And the base is gonna fall. There's no saving this. Nexus is harder down. MaxPax, he's stuck on 4 bases. Stormhosts are being cleaned up. And MaxPax, he can just barely hold on here. More probes falling. The lurker harass is brutal. And sure, Serral, he's been having a hard time pushing in towards the main, but he doesn't need to. Doesn't need to push into the main. Doesn't need to doom drop. I'm like trying to tell him like mentally, like, don't do it again. Don't go for another doom drop. You don't need to. It's okay. You're doing well. Oh. So he does catch those stalkers. So we're rotating around. Clearly see MaxPax trying right. No, MaxPax, he has no emotion. What do you mean? Nah. Oh, he's stone-faced. He's good. He's tenacious. So he does catch out the army. Nice fungal. Cloak gets activated, but the mothership, it's going to be targeted down. And no more mothership. Tempest, they do collapse you on top of those lurkers, but corruptors, they can respond. And they should be. Nice fungal, locking down the Tempest. Yeah, there's no escape. And the Tempest count should be reset. As there are just so many corruptors. Okay, 2 of them, they survive. 3 of them even. Serral, he backs off. Still good trades, got the mothership, got a bunch of Tempests. And Serral has a bank. He has both gold bases as well. The camera hasn't really panned in that direction, but he's got both golds. Has a boosted economy. Throwing down the Ultra Cavern. And just has to keep denying that center base over and over and over again. Make sure that MaxPax cannot expand. Even going for MaxPax's gold. Oh my god. Serral, calm down. I don't think he can actually maintain it, but he's going for it nonetheless. Going for the other gold. As Serral, he does dive right down the right-hand side. Going for the main. Nice microbial shroud. Once again. Protects the lurkers. Just to zone away the ground army. Nice fungal. Catching out the Tempest. The storms are well placed. Nice spread though from Serral. Ooh, the corruptors are getting low. Backs off. Respects the slow zone. Blings, they still bust into the main. Going for the reduction, just once again, just pulling MaxPax apart. MaxPax is out of a bank. Running out of resources, going for his own counterattack though. Knocking down a hatchery. Serral is forced to race back home. Is forced back. Landing a fungal. Do we have a recall? Again, just a messy fight here from MaxPax. He's going to get caught out. Does recall at least some of his stalkers. Does recall most of the army, saving some High Templar as well. Save his army, still making more Tempest. Trying to hold on. But really that was like, what, the only time that he ever applied pressure to Serral's side of the map. Serral, he's just been left alone the entire time. MaxPax has been contained. And he's going to get caught out once again. Massive fungal here in the army, locking it down. Nice storms. Storms do connect. MaxPax is going to be able to break out. The Archons, they hold their own. Serral has to back the hell up. Better fight for MaxPax. But he lost too much. And MaxPax just can't rebuild. He cannot rebuild. Lings, they go for a big counterattack. MaxPax forced back home. That's all he had left. That's all he had left at this point. As time is on Serral's side. Once again, Lings, they hit the center mining base. Ooh, Ooh, that's going to be 11 more probes going down. 13 probes. As MaxPax is struggling to defend his bases, Serral, he's already at 200. He's at 200 supply. 3-3 is on the way, kind of splitting as well. Serral just getting ready for another push. And he's just peeling off once again to head towards the main. He slips in, the Stargates are exposed. They're going to be going down. Like MaxPax at this point, he just cannot save his main. He can't save it. And again, winding back, it was just great to see Stormers once again here. Again, it's usually a style that I kind of think of some of the Korean Zerg players instead. I associate it with Shin, I associate it with Dark. But it's one of the styles that's very much so viable here in El Dorado. As we were pointing out, just because of the terrain, just because MaxPax did not mine through those minerals. It was just completely wide open, and yeah, it was quite successful. Sure, there were some rough moments to Serral, especially when it came to the Doom drop. True, just really rough moments. But he was able to stabilize. GG gets called. Serral catches out the army, and Serral takes a 3-1 lead in the lower bracket finals. GG does take a lead. And Serral, he is a one game away. One more game is all he needs to advance on to the grand finals. One more game. We'll see if MaxPax can bring it back. Up next, we have Amygdala. Now we're getting through some of these more quirky maps, and now we can embrace some of the more macro maps instead. I do feel like MaxPax is going to be a little more comfortable here. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool, very defendable here on 3 on 4 bases. There's a gold base, of course. The map does open up once the rocks get knocked down, but I do favor MaxPax a lot more here on Amygdala. Assuming he plays out like a longer kind of game state. We'll see. If you remember, I said the same thing about Abyssal, and then Max just went for an all-in. Like, I was like, oh, Abyssal is like, it's really good to like turtle up and be defensive and get into Sky Toss, and Max just went for like a big like charge timing, which fell in its face, and then it ended real quick. It was like a 10-minute game, if that. So I do need to hedge my bets here. Be like, it'd be good if he did, slow things down on Amygdala, but we'll see if he does. We'll see if he does. As again, so far, Serral playing well here, getting his revenge. With a solid scoreline. Some of these games we didn't quite expect to kind of see the way how they unfolded, I should say. Whether it's MaxPax being aggressive on Abyssal, whether it's Serral being aggressive on Whispers of Gold. But here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have MaxPax for Psystorm. And at the top right, we have Serral for Basilisk. Here we go. Again, one more game is all that Serral needs. Uno más, papi, uno más. And the pressure is now on MaxPax. And again, when it comes to MaxPax, these are his events, right? Like, we speak about this all the time, how unfortunately MaxPax doesn't travel to offline events, like EWC or DreamHacks or IEMs, for example. The events that MaxPax that he strives for, that he really is able to focus on and really display his skill, are events like this. Your Master Coliseum, your Leo League Cups instead. These bigger online events. They're MaxPax's EWC, essentially. These are his big events where he can really show off, and he did well for himself. I mean, again, to make it here to top 3 is no easy feat. Bearing in mind, MaxPax, he already beat Serral. He already beat Serral in this tournament. Already achieved so much, but here in the rematch, I mean, again, the pressure, the experience, all weighing on him. So from here, standard opener. Likewise, Serral going for his own hatch gas pool. we go. Now, when it comes to Amygdala, sorry, I was just stretching. When it comes to Amygdala, welcome one and all to Amygdala here. There are some unique features. Of course, the gold bases, you can take the gold as a third, you can take it as a fourth base as well. The gold can be quite risky to take. Basically, whether or not you can hold on to it is determined by the map control. If you gain control of the map, you can safely expand towards the gold. If not, it is very easy to punish and easy to shut it down. So that is going to be a big point of contention here, I'm sure, between Serral and MaxPax. Likewise, the rush distance by ground is quite long on this map. It takes a very long time to rotate between the top side, between the bottom side. It takes a very long time to back off, to rotate back and forth and hit the southern and northern bases. Because of this, we have seen a lot of late game here on Amygdala. The game does change quite a bit though once the rocks get knocked down. If you can see on the minimap, there are just so many rocks on Amygdala, and they do actually provide for a lot of attack paths once they get dealt with in a longer later game state. So over the course of the game, it becomes a little bit more open and much more difficult to keep up with rotations of whoever's being aggressive. We'll see if we can get there. We shall see. Again, already in this series, we've seen both Serral and MaxPax attempt their own aggressive builds with mixed success. So it's very much on the table. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of MaxPax going for the Oracle. This time, not a Void Ray opener from the Protoss. Just going straight Oracle into a third. Again, winding it back, last game Serral did end up playing and embracing Swarm Host, but that's a very unique kind of style here to El Dorado. We shouldn't really be seeing it here on Amygdala. It is a little bit less viable. But it was really nice to have seen Serral embrace that, something that I wasn't too sure if Serral would enjoy. It would go for it. It's going Storm Host. Oracle dips in. Does dip in, getting a couple of heals. Behind this, Twilight Council has been thrown down. Forge as well. Yeah, just headed into a standard setup here. Likewise, so Serral. Just droning. Safety Roach Warren has in place, so Serral just calming things down. Making sure he's safe and sound. MaxPax pushing in with a handful of adepts though. 5 adepts in the Oracle, ideally headed towards the mineral lines, and can Serral keep up? This is something that we actually haven't seen from MaxPax at all this series, is early adept aggression and early adept harass. Just hasn't done it whatsoever. I appreciate it here. Once again, threatening a shade. Does commit into the mineral line. And gets 2 drone kills, but only 2 drones for 5 adepts. Not worth it. Not worth it here for MaxPax. Better defense here by Serral. Behind this, he's taking up. +1 range. Hydra Den as well. Into a... Ooh, I was going to say Roach Hydra setup. He cancels the Hydra Den. Wait, what? And then he restarted. Never mind. So, a bit of a misstep there from Serral. It looks like he cancels and then restarts the Hydra Den. So, a bit of a delay, but it's all good. Bring it back. As MaxPax does move out. Once again being assertive. Behind this, MaxPax is getting extra gases, so that means Temple Archives, yep, is on the way. Headed towards the mid-game. MaxPax, he is not going for an all-in. He's taking up. Likewise, Serral is investing quite heavily into these roaches. Respecting these stalkers quite a bit. Getting into Ling Roach initially. Hatcher taking a lot of hits, but MaxPax should not get the expansion. Should be plenty to defend. I say that it is getting very low. No shot MaxPax, he's going for it. He's going for the base. Can he get it? Up, up. Oh my god, one more shot. Barely does not go down. 24 HP, one more shot away. Does survive. The Oracles actually could dive in. They could go for the dive. Do we have another transfuse? Oh my god. As Serral, he does hold on. Base survives. MaxPax, I'm sure, are very tempted. There we go. There's a transfuse. So making sure he's safe. Storm begins. And Serral holds. So he holds on. Behind this, Hydra production has begun. I believe there's no infestation bit yet. There's no tech into Hive. He is instead embracing Roach Hydra. Oracles, they come in from behind, but the Queens are in position. And the Oracles are zoned away. The rocks kill themselves. Yes, there are rocks in the center of the map that do expire at the 758 mark. You can save them with creep. If you can spread creep towards the massive tumors in the center, then that will keep them alive. Just as a heads up. Otherwise, they just bleed out. You know, Serral, he does commit. Pushing in between the bases. Storm is not done. The contamination! No shot. Storm is not done, and MaxPax is not ready for this. He's getting caught out. So the pants are down. Serral commits and does dive on top of the third base. The High Templar, they do nothing. There is no Storm. It should be done by now. There we go. 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, all he needs. Believes they collapse in. The High Templar are exposed. They're going down one after the other. And Serral, he is breaking MaxPax here and now. This should not have happened. The contamination was crazy. And with that, Serral, he's been broken. He has been broken. There's nothing left. A couple of Stalkers, a couple of Slow Lots. Stays is going to be going up. The third base goes down. And MaxPax has been broken. Ay, ay, ay. That was crazy. GG gets called. And Serral, he will take the series 4-1. Advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Mate. GG, well played. So just committing here into a massive timing, a massive push with Roach Hydra. And what's crazy about that is that was not meant to end the game. That was not meant to kill. MaxPax. He had what he needed to defend, assuming the Storm finished. But because of the contamination, because there was no Storm, he was caught with his pants down. He had nothing to defend. Or I say that he had purely Stalker. He had, I want to say, like 5 or 6 High Templar. They had plenty of energy, but they could not Storm. They could do nothing against the wave of Zerg. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our 2 finalists. We have a best of 9 between Serral and Hero. Let's go. This is a rematch. Again, for those of you that were here previously in the group stage of this tournament, Hero, he has already beaten Serral once in this event. So has MaxPax. But Serral, he's on that revenge streak here. He takes out MaxPax 4-1. He does redeem himself from previously in the tournament. And can he redeem himself once again here against Hero as well? We're here to find out. The downside, as we were kind of alluding to, I was kind of like making jokes about it, but what I was getting at is that Hero has the luxury of chilling and watching the entire time. You know, Hero, he was already waiting in the grand finals, and that was an intense series between MaxPax and Serral. It is a battle of endurance. Serral, his day is not over. His day is not done. He has another ZvP best of 9 ahead of him. Let's go. Let us go. So GG, well played. Serral does claim the series, and we are going to be going on a short break here, and when we come back, we will have our best of 9 grand finals between Hero and Serral. We should be seeing a very different dynamic. We saw that more often than not, MaxPax was playing a little bit more standard. I mean, there were some exceptions to that, like the game on Abyssal Reef or the game on Whispers of Gold, true, where we saw something more aggressive and more active, but for the most part, he was a little bit more passive and defensive in his style. That's typically how MaxPax is. Hero, anything but. Hero, he's in your face. He's more quirky with his builds. He's willing to mix it up, willing to go for glaive adepts, willing to go for earlier Stargate timings, earlier move outs as well, trying to fake out his opponent, if you will, and try to fake out some tech, and also play standard and play macro. Hero, he can do that as well. I mean, there's a reason why Hero is already in the finals. So I look forward to it. I do look forward to it. We'll see how the finals does unfold. Again, because it's going to be a best of 9, no vetoes. No vetoes whatsoever, which means we're going to be embracing maps like Neo Violet Square, El Dorado, Frostline as well. These otherwise vetoed maps are going to be embraced. Let's go. Again, for now, we're going to be going on that break. We'll see you guys soon after the break with those finals. See you soon. Also, before I forget, big shout out to Lanai, ex Lanai in the chat. God, Papi God, thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Papi. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. I apologize for being a little bit low energy. I did notice I was a little bit low energy for that previous series. I'll try and be a lot more alert, a lot more there for the finals. I think part of it was also the tech issues that we were having, like with the clean feed and with the clean feed going down, like that took a lot of momentum away. But we should be good. I'm gonna go quickly get some water and get ready here for a night of StarCraft. See you soon. See you soon.